Good morning, fifth grade. This morning you're going to need page 4 in your new packet. If you did not get a new packet yesterday, please ask the substitute. And we're going to do some problems from multiplying. Looks like we're multiplying some 2 or 3 digit numbers. However, one of the number is going to be a multiple of 10. So if you look at the first one, it's 43 times 30. And they tell us to think about doing 43 ones times 3 tens. But I'm going to show you a little bit easier way to do that. So we're going to do some of this work, but we're going to do it on graph paper. So the substitute could pause here, get some graph paper. All right, so I'd like for you to write this problem. Okay? Easiest way to do this is we underline the fact that's not a 0. So 43 times 3 is what we need to figure out. We're ignoring that 0 right now. So I'm going to go over to the side, and I'm going to multiply 43 times 3, and I get 129. Now that I know that, I can multiply 43 times 30, 43 times 300, 43 times 3,000, 430 times 3,000. Now that I know that. So we're going to write that down. And because this is 10 times larger, we're going to count our zeros. How many zeros do we have? That's how many zeros that we need on our product. So that first answer right there is 1,290. And if you look at the next one, it is also related. We're going to go ahead and do that on our paper. So that problem was 430 times 30. So the same thing, I'd like for you to underline the fact. We're going to go ahead and solve that. We already did over here, so we know that 43 times 3 is 129. Now this one is 10 times larger and 10 times larger. 10 times 10 is 100, or 2 zeros. We're going to add the zeros on. So the answer is 12,900. All right, I want you to turn to page 5. I like page 5 a little bit better for this lesson. So turn to page 5. It's right on the back. All right, they did some of them for us. We're going to go ahead and do them my method, okay? It's like using the distributive property, but you're not writing it all out like this. All right, so for letter B, we're going to go ahead and underline the fact. The fact is 8 times 5. So looking at 8 times 5, we know 8 times 5 is 40. Put down your product. Now we're looking, we got 1 0, so it's 10 times greater than 40. So the answer is 400. Let's do the next one. Underline the fact. So we're going to go ahead and do the problem 8 times 5 again, which is 40. That 40 is 10 times, no, it's 100 times greater, so 2 zeros. And that product is 4,000. Let's take a look at the next one. We're doing that 8 times 5 again, which we already know is 40. Now we're going 10 times greater, 100 times greater, 1,000 times greater, 10,000 times greater. So we're actually just counting our zeros because we know 10,000 has 4 zeros. Look at how many check marks I have, 4 zeros. I'm going to add 4 more zeros on. Now notice, I don't count that first 0 in this 40 because that is from the 8 times 5. Let's do the next one. 8 times 5 we know is 40. Let's count our zeros. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, so it's 10,000 greater. It's 4,000. If you notice, these are the same. So instead of having 50 or 500, we have 50. But instead of having 800, we have 8,000. All right, let's do the next one. 637 times 3. So that's what we need to solve first. This one we need to use the standard algorithm to go ahead and do. So I'm going to do 7 times 3 is 21. Carry the 2. 3 times 3 is 9. Add on 2 is 11. 9 times 3 is 18. Add on 1 is 19. So now that we know this product, look at all of these problems. We can go ahead and solve that. So we're going to underline the problem that we're doing. We already know that product. Now we're going to take a look at the zeros. We got 2 zeros, so it's 100 times greater. Add your 2 zeros on, and there's the product for that answer. Let's look at the next one. 637 times 3 again. We know that is 1911. Let's count our zeros. We got 1, 2, 3, so it is 1,000 times greater. Put our commas in, so we got 1,911,000. The next one, underline. It's the same problem again. So we know it's 1911. Let's count our zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 10,000 times greater. Add on your 4 zeros. Put in our commas. So that one was 19,111,000. All right, number 4. A concrete stepping stone measures 20 square inches. What is the area of 30 such stones? Well, I know that area means length times width. So I've got 20 of those, and I got 30 such stones. So if I kind of draw it, this one is 20 square inches, and I got 30 of those. So I'm going to go ahead and do 20 times 30. Our fact is 2 times 3, which is 6. 2 zeros, so 600 inches squared would be our final answer for there. The next one says a number is 42,300 when multiplied by 10. So something times 10 equals 42,300. So in order to figure that out, you've got to use the reverse operation. I'm going to do 42,300 divided by 10. I know on my place value chart, power of 10 is going to move one place smaller, so everything's going to move. That's going to equal 4,230. Then it says find the product of this number and 500. So this is our product of the last problem. And we're going to times it by 500. Well, once again, I go ahead and I notice that's the problem I need to do. So 3 times 5 is 15. Carry the 1. 2 times 5 is 10. Add on 1 is 11. 4 times 5 is 20. Add on 1. So I'm not finished yet, though. Take a look at these zeros. So this is 10, 100, 1,000 times greater. So I need 3 zeros on the end. And my commas. So that final answer is 2,115,000.